Welcome back. We're chatting with George Glass, the Global President of CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. And we're talking with George about the CIMA Canada Mayor's Trophy game and the Cricket Across the Pond initiative. George, before we went on break, we were establishing that Toronto's Mayor David Miller has lent a lot of credibility to the CIMA Mayor's Trophy game. And cricket generally in this city.
Yes.
I mean, he plays in all kinds of in all kinds of games, and he obviously has the support of his councillor, many councillors anyway, Councillor Adam Vaughan, Councillor Suzanne Hall, and others, are very supportive of the game. Could you talk a little bit about the relationship that CIMA Canada has with Mayor Miller and with City Hall that helps them in the various initiatives with cricket?
Well, I think the thing which it's really done, I think you've probably encapsulated it, the credibility of the whole scheme, because the Mayor has embraced it so warmly, has made it just so much easier for CIMA Canada, because it gives the whole thing a totally different profile. I think the message also that it brings across, as you say, the other councillors are involved, they're drawn in. It gives to me, it's always finding an apolitical focus for people to work towards and to join together in. And something which is, in the nature of the way it's done, it is competitive but not needlessly competitive. Mm-hmm. It's really designed to be fun, but it's nice to win, rather than I've got to win at all costs. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, I think it does a huge amount in all sorts of environments for just building teams and encouraging people to work together in their working environment, because they're happy to go out and knock a ball about together mm-hmm. on the cricket pitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, because of the relationship that CIMA Canada has got with the City Hall, the Cricket Across the Pond initiative has come about.
Yeah.
And this is a really fantastic initiative where kids, youths from neighborhoods in the city are given cricket scholarships, as it were.
Yeah.
Of course, they've got to pass all kinds of screening and good tests,
yes.
and there's all kinds of good stuff behind that. But on account of this, they get a chance to go play cricket in England. Tell us about that.
Well, it's something that I've been involved with, in that in the 2 years leading up to being president, I was involved in hosting the events.
Back in England.
Back in England, mm-hmm. because it happens quite close to my home. And so when the first group arrived, I went along. I was then the vice president of the institute, mm-hmm. and I went along to the reception by the Mayor of Kingston upon Thames, met all the teams, went out and watched a couple of matches. The first match I watched was a typical English limited over match, limited even more by the fact that it poured with rain in the middle. And eventually we had to stop because it was so dark nobody could see what they were doing.
Typical English
sort of match, and I thought, well, yeah, that's the way it should be. And I think that it was great to meet these guys, and the enthusiasm that they put into being there. And they got a jolly good look around, because they went to Lord's, they went to the Oval. The group in the first year were guests of one of the deputy commissioners of the Metropolitan Police in London, so they got a look around Scotland Yard. Mm-hmm. They had a really good trip round, and they were just so well looked after. And in that particular year, they went home unbeaten.
That's right.
Yes.
They've got a track record of doing very well when they get over to Chessington.
Yeah. And at Chessington, it's a very nice club. It's a very friendly club. There is, whether the story is true or not, I don't know, but it is said that the cricket across the pond grew up as a result of two people sitting next to each other on an aeroplane somewhere between here and Sri Lanka, and they got chatting. One of them was involved from here in the CIMA Cricket Festival. The other one was the wife of the president of the Chessington Cricket Club. And they thought perhaps this was a good idea. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, I know the cricket club, we just got to organise the rest of it. And it is a magnificent illustration of the network, the friendly network, which can create events like this, that sponsorship money is raised here, but a huge amount of voluntary effort is put in on both sides of the pond to make it happen.
it's the power of cricket. It's the power of sport.
It is.
It's the power of, you know, being friendly with people, and it's wonderful. And you know, we're chatting here in Toronto, in Canada, a city and a country perhaps, as you quite rightly said at the beginning, it's not known throughout the world as a cricket country, but here we are talking about a cricket scholarship program where children from this vicinity, from this area, can win scholarships and go play cricket for a few weeks in the summertime in England. And this year, I'm not so sure, but in previous years, but this year they'll be having a game at Lord's, the mecca of cricket. You know, so cricket has come a long way.
Yes.
And it's come a long way, certainly this particular program, because of CIMA and because of CIMA's relationship with Mayor Miller and the City Hall and all that good stuff that we've been talking about.
But I think it is so many different people have come together under this cricket umbrella. And I think that to me, one of the characteristics of it is that cricket is probably a more unifying sport than, say, soccer, because soccer is everybody's far too focused on winning, and it's, you know, the fun's gone out of the game. But this is fun cricket, and cricket can be played to be fun.
Now let's not forget, you've got a little memento from cricket across the pond.
I certainly
can you tell us quickly about that?
Certainly have. Last year, I went to watch a match at Chessington and left my car in the car park. And one of your lads was doing a pretty good job. He drove 1-6 into the road and stopped the traffic. Drove another 6 onto the roof of my car. And I'm the proud owner of a dent in the roof of my Saab. And it's still there.
You carry it proudly.
I carry it proudly, yes. Yes.
Now, cricket's all, you know, fun and games and nice and you know, good stuff. But there's something happening right now in the professional sector of CIMA with regards to Ontario's proposed Bill 158. Why is it that CIMA is concerned about Bill 158? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think